Hello, hi guys, welcome back to the Football Showdown channel. We are back with a new stream, this time with much more energy and a lot of topics to talk over, and especially with a special guest who's making his debut on this channel and probably on many other channels from India. We hope to bring these collaborations only for the right reasons, that is, to bring in the quality, to bring in the right discussion, to talk about all the important topics at the same time have a little bit of fun as well during this international break, because I know when you are away from the Premier League, or in this channel we talk a lot about Premier League, if you're away from club football, your mind tends to go in places that doesn't require your energy, like talking about the most unnecessary things, losing your mind over some trivial things, and a lot of the times you tend to go away from reality, right? So we thought this is a nice time to come back. We talk about nice topics, that is uh, regarding Arsenal's incredible summer where we assigned 8 players. We brought in a great depth as well. We have close to 24 to 25 people. We've got to talk a lot about that, the possible tactical changes as well, and at the same time, our UCL fixtures, and can we really do it, win the Champions League, right? Before we get into all the discussion, let's call upon our panelists for today, Aarush and Semford. How are you guys?
Lovely. Good man.
Yeah,
Am I audible? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Hello, Ishan. How are you, man? Welcome to the show. Okay, right. So last stream that was on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday, right?
Yeah.
We had a lot of disturbances because of technical issues. So I know Rohan will be a little bit late. So in the meantime, I thought it'll be nice to like recap what all we felt regarding the Liverpool game, because we honestly couldn't discuss a lot of things, right? Right. So I will start with you, Semfer. What did you think regarding the Liverpool? Did you think it
okay.
was like Arsenal being very defensive, or do you think it was like a fair result?
So my point of view is slightly different. Like when I had come on this channel last time, we had this discussion whether what will be the scoreline at Liverpool, right? And I was a bit skeptical about us winning at Liverpool because Anfield is obviously one of the toughest stadiums to go to and get 3 points, right? So um, to expect us to go there and start attacking is sort of something we won't do, because obviously Arteta is like a defensive minded coach. First of all, he's like, first you have to draw and then you have to win. It's not like he'll go on attacking and try and attack, and then we would end up conceding 3 or 4 goals. So that's not what will happen with Arteta, right? So it's like a defensive first approach with him. And as I told you, I was a bit skeptical going to Liverpool because they have the quality in attack as well, right? So to go there and to nullify them for around 75 minutes is a very, very good thing to happen for us, right? So it's like, um, if you see even the XG, right, and even if you see the shots which they had, it was a very low quality shot. They actually had, like, they had a moment, only one moment, I would say, which is the free kick from Somersley, and it went in. So other than that, nothing to, like, there was no moments where I felt that Liverpool would go on and score, right? So to go to Anfield and to have that sort of a performance is a really, really good thing to say. So, as far as the lineups go, I think a lot of people had this discussion about Merino starting, right? But I think Merino was really good, right? He led from the press. He did a lot of things off the ball, which is very important again while playing against Liverpool, because you're not playing against a smaller side, right? Liverpool is like one of the top five sides in the world, right? So you're playing against a quality attack, a quality defense as well. Like VVD is one of the best ball playing centre backs. So just to nullify him, you need a player like Merino. Obviously, Odegaard would be much better there, but I think that was a smart move from Arteta to go with experience there, and I think he had a good showing. I understand people getting frustrated not having Ethan play there, but I think he still has to learn a lot out of possession, and hopefully by the end of the season he gets there, right? So I think 1-0 is a very good scoreline to come out. And one thing is there, losing to Liverpool at Anfield, losing to City or losing to United at Old Trafford won't actually decide the title, right? It's like the games versus Forest, the games versus Palace, Fulham, Crystal Palace, these are the games where you drop points, right? So if you can get 6 points from them, it actually won't matter whether we go to Anfield and come out as losers, right? And it's not a big scoreline. It's not a 4-0, it's not a 5-0 sort of scoreline where we get embarrassed, right? It's a 1-0. And it was a moment where, it was a brilliant moment of brilliance, I would say, which got them over the line. So I'm very happy with the performance overall. And I'm happy with what we have seen over the last 3 games, because obviously we are in a transition as well, because you've seen Gyökeres is quite new to the system. Eze is something who's quite new to the system as well, right? So there'll be lots of changes happening. It won't be the same Arsenal we have seen over the last 3 years. So the main point of view, or the main objective right now, is to get 3 points as much as we can. Once the team settles, you'll see a total different dynamics, and you'll see us go on a big run. So that's the main thing coming out of the match for me.
Thanks. Thanks. Okay. Let me add in Raja as well. How are you, Raja?
Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Good. Okay. Now let's
I,
add in our special guest. We've been waiting for this collaboration for a while. Um, Mr. Rohan, how are you? How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you? How's everyone? Good?
Good.
Yes.
Uh, are you okay? I know that you took it out to deal with something else.
Yeah, I'm good. I was just coming back from a walk. So yeah, I was just a bit late, that's why. But everybody good? Everybody
Yeah,
It's
excited?
all
Yes.
good, bro. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, I will definitely. I will wait with that.
You can ask him the same question which you asked me right now, Sucheet.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but before we get into all this, before we get into discussion regarding what's the next thing for Arsenal, right? I thought we'd just simply get into how we all thought regarding the Liverpool fixture. We all thought it was an okayish game, but it was at one moment that changed the entire thing towards Liverpool winning, right? So, what did you think regarding the game?
For me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think for me, at baseline, at a very surface level, it was a game that consisted of two teams who are clearly the best in the Premier League. I would say. I know it is a very small sample size for this season to say that we or Liverpool are better than Man City, but I don't think Manchester City will be able to compete with both Arsenal and Liverpool, because I do think their issues are a lot more prevalent than what Arsenal's are. And I just think the way that both Arsenal and Liverpool played, it was just two teams who cancelled each other out. You know, both had their spells in the game in which they were on top. I'd say Arsenal, certainly in the first half, they had a lot of control in that game. And I felt that they did really well to contain that Anfield atmosphere. And then the second half, there were some changes that Arne Slot made, but my thoughts were that these changes certainly did allow them to have momentum, but ultimately they still weren't able to create serious opportunities and to threaten our goal. You know, outside of the Ekitike offside goal, which was worked quite nicely from Van Dijk and the way Szoboszlai moved in. I felt the issue that we had is certain players did start to fatigue, and I felt the momentum was shifting. But as I've already said, the momentum was shifting, but Arsenal weren't still in a position where they were under serious stress. So I think the only criticism that I could give on Mikel is he could have been proactive 10 minutes earlier, but whether that would have changed the game, who knows? And then ultimately it's a wonder goal, you know. And on the Cannon podcast, I made the comparison of when I look at this game and compare it to other games that we've played previously. I think 23-24 against Manchester City at home at the Emirates is a really good comparison, where it was a little bit more open against Liverpool, but that's part and parcel of playing Liverpool and how they like to operate. But ultimately, it was two teams that cancel each other out. And at the time, in 23-24, I don't know if you boys remember, but it was that one moment, you know, the Thomas Partey ball over the top, and then eventually Martinelli scoring a deflected goal of Nathan Ake. But outside of that, there was nothing in it, and the margin swung our way. But the margin didn't swing our way against Liverpool, you know, and that's football. So that's the way I feel about it. But what do you guys think? Do you share similar thoughts, or do you have different observations.
Okay, well, Aarush, go ahead. Where I will go. We'll see the
Yeah,
next.
I think I agree with both of y'all. I think Semper and Ron y'all have concluded the game really well in the sense that I think the game was based on two halves, a smaller portion to Liverpool, which they took advantage of through a brilliant goal. But I think
Yeah,
we were very well drilled with Arteta's actual game plan to start the game. The lineup that had Martinelli starting through the left and Merino in midfield, which was criticized a lot. But if you rewatch the game, you would realize what he wanted to do and how he actually made his mark on the game as well. Maybe through his pressing, maybe through the organizational way he moved across alongside the midfield and stuff like that. I think individually we had multiple good performances. We could have found Madueke in those channels much more because I think he was having a better of Kirkes multiple times there. So in that sense as well, we could also adapt to the different ways that we attacked in that game because there were multiple openings. We looked to um, transition the game through certain ways where Zubimendi, Rice, and stuff like that. We were trying to just rotate position in ways that we could make the most of the open spaces that were created. And Van Dijk was on top of his game. The passes that he played and stuff like that, in their sense, also worked out very well. But I am not that disappointed because Anfield was never going to be an easy task for us.
yeah.
So we've tackled it early into the season. We've got points on the board. We've had two good games initially to start the season as well. Um, the games that are coming forth, and one major factor that I would look to consider is that we should be having a fit squad going into the season because the amount of players that we had out for this game, the depth that came in, a Saliba injury in the second minute, Mosquera coming in, we wouldn't have imagined all of that to go in just a nasty 1-0 loss
Yeah.
to us. Because on another day, like a 2023 season, like a 2022 season, we would actually concede goals or we would make mistakes ourselves when we didn't have the depth. And the depth actually was the reason that we actually were in this fixture, in my opinion. So, in that sense, yes, we are in a good position. It's just very early into the season to actually kick us out of the title race and stuff like that, as the opponents have been running. So yeah, that's how I think of it. Yeah.
I think my only negatives of this match was the substitution. I think you mentioned it, Rohan.
Yeah.
The thing is, we sometimes actually take a long time to bring in the substitute, right? So I think Eze coming on at around 55th minute or 68th minute would have made a lot of difference, right? So because Martinelli obviously wasn't having a good game. So I think Mikel needs to be a little bit more pragmatic in these scenarios. I think bringing on someone like Eze would have changed the game. But again, it's like an hindsight right now, right? So like any other, out of 10 games, even Slot said it, right? Out of 10 scenarios, like in 9 scenarios, you would have at least got a point, and it was very unlucky, right? The goal was a moment of brilliance, as I said. So, I mean, that's the only negative for me in that match.
The thing I would also like to add is, and I think Aarush said it, it's like when I going into the game, I felt playing Anfield on the third game week is a
Hmm,
big positive because if you win,
hmm, hmm,
great.
hmm.
It takes your season off. If you draw,
Yeah.
we keep moving, and that was the result. I would say most Arsenal fans expected, given our past
Hmm.
record in the
Hmm,
big six games.
hmm,
Unbeaten in
Yeah.
22, and if we lose, which I also felt could happen, because as good as our big six record has been, past performance doesn't always equal future performance, right? And
yeah.
there's always the chance in which like those games against Man City in which it's super tight and it can go against you. That's what happened, and that's part of football. And that's unfortunately what happens in the big games at times. And but it's okay, it's the third game week. I think playing Anfield in match day 32 or match day 33, that's where I think there's a lot of weight on it. Whereas now there's not a lot of weight on it. It's ultimately just a small setback that Arsenal just need to move past from, and that's why I feel really optimistic about it because, as Aris also said, there were a lot of individual performances who looked really, really good, like Mosquera coming in, baptism of
Hmm,
fire,
hmm,
first game at Anfield. But at the same
hmm,
time, like, this is someone who has had the most minutes out of any under 21 over the past two seasons, and he's played at the Bernabeu and he's played at the Camp Nou. So I don't think he was, ever really going to be phased by that atmosphere because he has experienced it previously at Valencia. And Calafiori, I think, has been fantastic so far. And Timber defensively has been phenomenal, doing what he was essentially doing the back end or the entirety of last season as well. So there's a lot of really good positives, and also Madueke looked bright as well. So yeah, it's just annoying that we have to sit on that result for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
True, true. Just one of the points that I wanted to make, I think a content viewers Hulkwards has said as well, needed to be proactive than reactive and react to their pressing changes. That is, Soboslai, Martin, Calafiori was needed by removing Martinelli early.
Yeah.
This is what I actually wanted to see. When we had the momentum on our side, the only way we could make it better was making those proactive changes, right? That is what I was hoping to see. Rather, we became reactive, like to how you said it became to like that city game. It became like a chess game. If you make the change, I'm going to make change. So depending on what you do, I'm going to do. I just hope that we were more proactive because the way we played the first 45 minutes, I really liked it. Yes, I do know that we didn't go and create any issues in the final third, but the way we were evading passes from the back, we were like inviting press at the same time. They were not able to do much about it. I thought we had them nicely caged, but it was only that little bit proactive thinking that could have helped us. But again, just the third game week. The fact is that we have to sit with the result for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and and next game, I think that is the one that is like really really uh, making it an issue than more than what it is. So yeah, I would say. Okay,
I
since
also
we.
want to add one thing, Rohan, with the point you mentioned, right? So I was just talking to another friend of mine. The thing is, next game week onwards, we'll have Champions League games as well, right? So like,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. So what happens is to have these games done, right? So like the United game, Old Trafford, Anfield, done before we actually start the UCL campaign is a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
Because we are actually playing against say Bayern Munich on Wednesday, and again after a couple of days we are going to Old Trafford or we are going to Anfield. It's a tough ask because you are actually, and obviously you'll be starting the same 11, right? Because Bayern Munich and Old Trafford, like two big games, right? So I think from that perspective, also I think to have all these games done before game week 4 or game week 5 is a very very good thing for us, right? So to eliminate all these things, because these two like stadiums, Old Trafford and Anfield, are the toughest stadiums according to me, and even Newcastle, right? So these three stadiums are like the toughest for me, and to have those done in the first 2 or 3 games is a good thing for us.
Okay,
Yeah.
what we're here is to talk about the big summer that Arsenal had. Nobody expected Arsenal to bring in, let alone eight. I don't think we expected us to go to more than four people of bringing four signings, right? I thought these were the signings that really, really changed the way that we look at our defensive depth. We,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we brought in Mosquera, we brought in Norgard. Norgard are very, very sensible by assuming that he came in cheap and comes in with a lot of Premier League experience as well. Zubimendi was something that we looked to sign since January, so I think that was the only hype that we didn't get. But Hincapié, I have zero idea about him. I'm sure that majority of you will have, especially Raja, who's been a huge fan of him since 2022. Do you guys want to talk about the Hincapié first rather than the other three? Let's start with Raja. If you have the Wi-Fi line, but go ahead.
Yeah, hello Rohan and other panelists on here. Am I audible? Or
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you are, you are.
yeah, I'm actually like the depth we've added over the summer in all these midfield and our defense has been incredible. When it comes to Mosquera, we've been watching him in the Euro 20, under 23 Euros in the
Hmm.
summer, and he definitely was Spain's one of the best players in there. And the way we got him for that amount of money and the quality he brings to the squad, I think it's just a top class signing. And when it comes to Hincapie, I actually first watched him play during the World Cup in Qatar, where he was uh, one of the best players for Ecuador. I was really surprised that he went for such low amounts to Leverkusen, and under the tutelage of Xabi Alonso, he grew into the player he is today. And he was very crucial in what Leverkusen did in that season where they went unbeaten. Um, for me, his main attribute would be his passing. especially when it comes to passing the ball through channels, and even like his crossing is just elite in my opinion. Uh, uh, Maybe, yeah, I think he'll be our best crosser in our team if you see about it. I don't think Calafiori is as good as him when it comes to crossing the ball. He gets
Okay.
that whip, like where the ball just curves in, and it's just beautiful to watch. I hope we'll get to see more of him.
Hmm.
I just don't see him as a center back, but he in the announcement video, in the interview he gave to the Arsenal website, he said he'll play his main position is center back, but I don't know. I personally feel we should play him at left back because he can give us that legs on the to make those runs on the outside.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's my view on that. Yeah.
Rohan, what do you think regarding the entire situation?
Yeah, so in terms of Hincapie, I've not watched much. I think Aarush has watched a lot of him actually,
Hmm.
and I think Semper knows a bit as well. I What I will say is to your comment about the interview that he did in saying he prefers to play at centre back. I think it could be similar to the Ben White situation, where Ben White, would have also preferred to be in it. I think at the time he preferred to play at centre back, and there was not, you know, I don't think the mindset of him moving to right back, but then as we saw post 20 to 23, when Saliba came into the fold, we saw Ben White move to right back, and that's been his pretty much his position, outside of a couple of games at centre back when he's needed to. So I think the thing Capie is I I'm hoping that he is essentially that contingency plan to a Calafiori, where we can maintain the current dynamics of play, which I think are very important to unlocking that left hand side, especially what Calafiori has been doing so far. And I also think the implications of Miles Lewis Skelly in the transition to the midfield as well. I really like that idea, and also hope the fact that we also do see Calafiori getting a lot of minutes at left centre back as well to manage the workload of Big Gabby. Who knows? Mikel might see Hincapié as the backup left centre back option to Gabriel ahead of a Calafiori, but I hope it isn't that way. I hope it is Calafiori being the understudy to Gabriel, whilst also being our first choice left back right now, because I do think Calafiori is a player who is key to that left hand side, and I think the only question mark on Calafiori is the durability. And that's the way I see it. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what Hikape offers. I've seen a couple of comps where him arriving late dynamically, similar in the way to Ben White, in how he arrives. But I don't know loads about him, so I'm kind of just interested to see how he does. And there's a lot of games, right? Because when we come back from the international break, it's Nottingham Forest, then we play Bilbao,
Well,
and then we play Man
City.
City,
Yeah.
then we play Port Vale, then we play Newcastle. Then there's probably another midweek game as well, and so on and so on and so on. And that's why, just going a little bit off topic, I think it's really important that Miles Lewis Skelly, for example, today is starting for England because he's not had loads of minutes so
Hmm.
far in the new
Hmm.
season. He came on in the game against Man United. He came on in the game against Leeds. He didn't play against Liverpool. So I think it's good that we keep certain players fresh, and I actually think maybe the international break might help us in that regard, to keep players fresh. So.
Arush and Sanford, thoughts on Hincapié? Looks like you guys know more.
I haven't concluded my scouting report on him because of the exams that are going on, but the little bit I've watched of him, I am very, very happy that we've gone to sign a profile like this because if you'll recall, this was another player that we were linked to a couple of seasons back. And it's always a full circle moment for Mikel when he actually targets a player, he ends up getting it somehow or the other. And Hincapié is one of those. And I think the growing pattern with the defensive signings that we've signed is they're very versatile. Most of them are center backs. A back four is of center backs who are playing as full backs as well. And
Mm.
Hincapié again fits that bill as well. Um, like Raja mentioned, his crossing, his passing is one of his best talents. And I think the tenacity he brings in, like just dueling and just him having the South American dog in him, I think that just works well with how he's going to be looked at Arsenal as well. I don't really know what his best position would be. Like Rohan questioned it as well. He's really good at crossing. It's a different profile to have than a Calafiori and an MLS who like inverting more and carrying the ball more. This guy's more of a passer. So in that sense, how we see his growth, but it's a very positive signing that we've got a left-footed defender back again at a position that we didn't really see coming in this window because of the amount of signings that we've made. But deadline day transfer always
It's
hits
not a
hard.
summer window without signing a left back. So let's just yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's
Kivior
true.
went, so we needed someone in, right? So like,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
Kivior was there, we wouldn't have signed him. Yeah.
hmm, yeah, yeah. That's how I feel. How do you feel about it, Simple?
So I've also not watched a lot of him, but my initial assessment was like he's very aggressive and very quick down the line. So very good channel runner as well, and very good crosser. So I think he's much more like a Martinez sort of Lisandro Martinez sort of profile, and he can yeah, obviously Havertz has just said the same thing. Yeah, so it's like a profile which we are looking at, and he can play both as a LCB and left back as well. So as Aarush mentioned, like we're looking at profiles where players can play dual roles. I think he can play right center back as well.
Yeah,
So like 2 or 3 roles as well. So like bringing such players in is a very very good thing for us. So like I'm very happy with the signing. I actually didn't expect him. Like I didn't expect KVR to leave. Like towards
Yeah.
the end of the window, I thought that KVR would end up staying back. But I think that we actually upgraded on him, right? So like Incape is much more better than Kivior in my mind. So like yeah, so that's a really good signing for us.
For me, the rule of thumb to get excited regarding certain signing that I have no idea about is when
Hmm.
Raja gets excited, right?
Okay.
Because he's a guy who is not really expressive, but when he is expressive, it's like you can hear the whole world around him and himself. So he got excited when we were linked to Sesko. He got excited when we were linked to Nico Williams and Hincapié. These were the three times I've seen him the most excited. So that is what I really know. That is all I knew about him. And then obviously Aarush explaining regarding his profile in the group chat as the days went by with him spent what he has closed how many 400 clips, 720 clips.
yeah. I got the Wisecout clips of him just to analyze him, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
Just gonna take my time.
exactly.
So many clips on my skull on
Yeah,
every
Mhm.
player. It's
Right. And another player that Raja always is excited about is Liao. But yeah, it is what it will come to the Liao bit later. But yeah, the other players that he signed, we spoke about Mosquera. I think that the more how much ever we talk about Mosquera, it's never going to be sufficient. Because imagine like a 21-year-old kid coming and making almost like a debut at Anfield and didn't feel like we missed out Saliba at that level. I think we even discussed like how Saliba starts off a big game really slow and tends to grow into the game, but felt like Mosquera was ready from the get go. So that was a positive. But okay, Zubimendi, right? 3 seasons and 3 games in the Premier League. People are having a little bit of how do we say multiple thoughts about. There's no unison regarding how they really feel about Zubimendi so far in the Premier League. 3 Premier League games, all are preseason games. Also, he has played in. What are your thoughts regarding this, Robert? We'll start with you and then we'll go with the rest.
yeah, I actually think the Zubimendi needs to adapt to the Premier League still is quite over-indexed. I think he's settled in quite nicely. I think the game against Manchester United, the entire technical level of the team was off, you know.
Hmm.
And Zubimendi also, I think he had a serious sickness bug going into that game as well, you know. So that certainly needs to be acknowledged. And against Leeds, I went to that game, and what I've noticed with Zubimendi, and we saw it in preseason as well, is he's not risk averse in terms of the higher he goes, he's always looking to play it through the center of the pitch, you know, through the lines. And there were 3 occasions in the first half where it gets cut off, but then he wins it back. It gets cut off, but then he wins it back again. And he did it against Liverpool as well a couple of times as well. So I think he's settled. I actually think he's settled in really nicely. And I'm really looking forward to how that partnership develops with Erdegaard and Rice, where I feel like, and again, it's a really small sample size. So far, the way that we've used our midfield three, a lot of occasions, they're coming deeper and emptying the midfield to get on the ball, to control, and then to move back into the spaces higher up. That's what PSG's midfield do. They're really flexible in how they rotate. Now, the way they do it, Arsenal won't do that in terms of the intensity in which they do it because they're constant with it. But I have seen Arsenal's midfield trio of Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Rice rotate between left and right, up and down vertically as well. So, and I think that comes from Zubimendi's ability to pass with both feet and how he's not got that angle bias of preferring the right hand side way more than the left, where he's comfortable on both areas of the pitch, and that really opens up a lot of opportunities for Arsenal to advocate those rotations and to be flexible. And I've really liked what I've seen there. And final point on Zubimendi is like the out possession work. I think statistically. I think it's who scored have him as the most interceptions so far in the league. It's only 3 games, but I really think he settled him superbly in this regard. The only thing I would say is he did tire towards the last 30 minutes at Anfield, but that's normal, right? And unfortunately, I think if there was a Norgard on the bench, we may have seen that change perhaps, and for Zubimendi to come off. Then you could also say, well, Mikel could have brought on Miles Lewis-Skelly and you could have dropped Declan Rice a bit deeper. You could have done that as well. But overall, I think he started really well. And I do think that he's going to be someone Arsenal fans are going to love. The more games he plays and that partnership that will develop. Because I genuinely thought he was really good against Leeds, both on and off the ball. So
Leeds, he was just insane, absolutely insane. But yeah, this game, I think you got to watch him a little bit more closely to understand how good he is. But Aarush and Saifur, how did you guys think regarding him so far?
Yeah, I think he's fit in well. A Spaniard coming into Arsenal's midfield is always supposed to hit, man. We've had Arteta, we've had Cazorla, we've had the greats here, and I think Zubimendi's start has been a promising sign towards that. I think the biggest thing that we expected from the new midfield recruitment was some central access, and Zubimendi being a very good passer of the ball, no angle bias, like Rohan said as well. He's two-footed as well. So I think in that sense, he's brought in a lot. I think he's complementing very well with Rice, where they both can rotate positions in games. One takes the role of a controller, one just moves forward, makes those carries and stuff like that. Yes, it has worked well as of now. I think Liverpool game did show a bit of the critical part of what we've seen. Zubimendi is about how he's not the best at tracking back. His physicality can be shown in games which have a good dominant midfield like that of Liverpool's. But it is something that we signed for, and we are looking to mitigate his weaknesses through a team as a whole. So, in that sense, I think we just get better. He just adapt better to the team, and we'd see the best of him like that. So, yeah, I think Zubimendi's been great.
Sanford, for the fact that Zubimendi and Odegaard hasn't played those many minutes together yet, but we're seeing a lot of chemistry between Rice and Zubimendi, the way that they interchange their positions, especially when it comes to out of position play, right? What did you think regarding uh, the whole situation? Do you think with Odegaard coming in terms of Zubimendi influence in the game, or do you think it just needs a little bit more fine tuning of his other play so that he can be more effective for the team?
I think, as Rohan mentioned, it's a bit. He's quite new to the game. He's quite new to the PL, right? So it's quite new to the system as well. So it will take some time for him to settle down. But one thing which I've seen is he's very good tempo setter, right? And he's very quick while passing forward. So he receives the ball and he quickly passes it forward, which we were lacking in the previous seasons. Like Partey used to hang on to the ball a little bit more, which allowed the opponents to come and press him a lot. So with Partey, we had those problems, but that's eliminated. And I think Zubimendi is like settling in quite well. With Liverpool, I think as the opposition is quite good, and they realized that Zubimendi is one of the biggest threats, right? So like they were pressing him really, really well, right? So I think as he gets settles down in the league, as even if you mentioned the Leeds game, right, he was very good against Leeds. So you'll see games where he'll dominate a lot. You'll see games where he'll struggle a bit. Like I think he'll have a okayish game against City, because again Pep is one of those guys who recognizes threats really well. So you'll see a lot of City players press him. But I think the other games, like for example Forest game or the latter games like Palace, or for example a Brighton, I think he'll shine in those games. So I'm very excited about the signing. I think is a very big upgrade to Partey. I think he's one of the best signings we have made. I would say the best signing we have made personally, and top five signings in the Premier League this season, this summer. I would say. I'm very excited with regards to getting him in.
Who would you say, and I'd ask all of you this, do you think is going to have the biggest impact out of all of our new signings?
I think it's Zubimendi personally.
Yeah.
For
Same,
me.
same,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd
I
agree.
yeah. Back in June, I said Zubimendi. I'm still sticking with Zubimendi. Right. The PSG game honestly pissed me off because the game was there centrally. We
Yeah.
kept going to the wings, and the fact that Zubimendi came in and we started to see a bit of that, and then we didn't get the combination again where those two played a long period of time. I think
Yeah.
the one time we saw that central progression pass for the first time was, I think, the Villarreal game, or was it the Bilbao game? I'm not sure which game it was. I would remember watching that and losing my head like, oh, this is something new. And since then we didn't have these three combined that much at the same time in the Premier League. So, yeah, it's Zubimendi for me.
yeah.
Raja, what do you?
I I'd say Eze is a close shout to Zubimendi because knowing how dead our left side is, Eze is going to bring new life to the squad. I
Yeah.
think he can have a huge impact as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. We discussed. Okay, Norgard. I wished we saw a bit of him. Norgard could have been that player where that could have been the difference, like how Rohan said,
Hmm.
without. I mean, the difference between not conceding and like losing or something like that, right? So I wish we saw more of him, but let's get into the more fun part of things, that is our attack. And we wanted attacking signing for over 4 seasons. Since then, we signed in only Jesus and Trossard. We wanted to sign Modric, but yeah, here we are. We got Eze, Gyökeres, and Madueke. Okay, I know it is a stale topic to talk about, but I thought it's only fair to like set up how we honestly think about. I think I know. I think people know how Raja and Aarush and I feel regarding Gyökeres, but I will ask Rohan and Semfer. How did you guys think regarding Arsenal signing Gyökeres over Sesko?
Yeah, so I was someone who wanted Sesko. Like I was really big on the player. But I did feel that there was a cap on what I felt was fair in terms of the fee. And with Gyökeres, so the Canon podcast, George and Alex in particular have received a lot of stick for their opinions, and because they did do a scouted on him, and I hadn't even watched Gyökeres properly by the time the news had come out in which we were heavily linked, and it felt like it was definitely going to happen. Outside of the game that we played against them, of course. So, and after I watched him, I felt like this is a player who, for me, he's going to score goals, and I feel his sole responsibility in this team will be his output, right? Because right now, with Gyökeres, like the Leeds game, for example, he did okay before the first goal, but it wasn't again spectacular. I think with Gyökeres, he's it's quite harsh and nasty this, but I think in terms of a footballer, he is more of the ugly duckling type, where it's not the prettiest. It's a lot more. The game doesn't flow with Gyökeres, but what Gyökeres is if you play to his strengths, which I don't think Arsenal have done yet. At the same time, I think Gyökeres also needs to adapt to Arsenal. I think it works two ways. Right now, there's that teething issue in which there's certain situations and actions that don't look great on the eye. Like Arsenal lumping balls into Gyökeres, which we will have to do at times, but we do that with Kai Havertz and it works a lot better. But when we do it with Gyökeres, the ball bounces off him and he's not able to pin the centre back. But when you put the ball into the channel, Gyökeres is really strong. Like that's what he loves, and we saw that against Leeds. There were a couple of times against Liverpool as well where he looked bright in that regard as well. So in terms of the player, like I see the positives, I see the weaknesses, but ultimately for the fee that we paid for Gyökeres, when you consider a lot of the other signings that other clubs have made, and you
Yeah.
look at the striker market, I feel the fee is very representative of the player that he is, and like I think we need to judge him more towards that fee. Whereas right now, I think there's the judgment of him being this 80, 90 million pound player where we've not spent that money on him. We've not went that high up for Gyökeres in that regard. So yeah, I just think that it's going to need a bit of time. It's funny because it's like when we played against Bilbao in our final preseason game, Gyökeres scores a header. If Aarush was seen. If you look at the Y Scout clips of Gyökeres in the air,
Yeah.
it's not a good, it's not a good watch. But he scores a header against Athletic Bilbao, and then it's like, oh, he's fantastic in the air. And then there's the United game where he doesn't perform very well, and it's the other end of the spectrum of, oh no, why have we signed him? And then against Leeds, he scores 2 goals, and it's he's going to score 30 goals this season. And now Liverpool, it goes back. So it's the constant change that's happening with Gyökeres that I think is just not fair. I think we need to give him time, and he deserves the time. So yeah, he wasn't my first choice, but I do think with the fee, it's good value. I really do believe that. So
Nice, nice. Sanford, what did you think
Yeah,
regarding
yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say the same thing. The thing is, with regards to the fee, right? So like we have spent only 55 or 60 million on it.
yeah,
The other factor is like we have seen the striker market or strikers move a bit late, right? So like most of the signings, like even Etiquette, right? So like him, Sesko, even Waldemar, so all these guys are moving in August, and Mikel was like very adamant to have a striker done before the preseason, right? And Gyökeres was pushing for it, so like it's a no-brainer to have him here. And we couldn't actually wait because you never know, and we weren't in a position where we couldn't get a striker in and start the season without a striker, right? So like from that perspective, I think we played the cards really well and got him in. With regards to Gyökeres, I think he needs a bit of time to settle down in the league. So from that perspective, I think Havertz was very, very important for us because like at Old Trafford as well, like before the Old Trafford game, like we were having a discussion, and I said, Havertz was the guy who should have started at Old Trafford, right? And expected him to start at Anfield as well, right? So I was expecting Havertz to play the chunk of the games at least till the second, international break, and Gyökeres to come on as super sub and hopefully score a couple of goals for his confidence. So but that won't happen right now. So like the entire, the next 4 or 5 games is up to him, right? And we need to depend on him. We need him to score goals as well and settle down very really quickly. But I think overall, as a 50 million package or as a 55 million signing, is a good signing, and it represents the market as Rohan has been saying, right? So yeah, I mean, for Sesko's fee, we actually got in Gyökeres, we got in Nordgaard, we got in Kepa, even Mosquera, right? So these 4 players for 90 million. So that's a very good way to go into the market and get the players, right? Because right now squad depth is also important for us.
Absolutely.
yeah. I also think like it's a bit of a shame the Kai Havertz injury because you
Yeah.
could see Gyökeres was starting to fatigue like post
Yeah.
60 minutes in Anfield, and Kai Havertz was there. I mean, we saw it against Manchester United. Kai Havertz came on. When we did feel that Gyökeres was starting to tire and his influence wasn't really there, and the game just wasn't becoming one for him, and we brought Kai Havertz on. The injury to Kai Havertz is meaning that we're going to see a lot of Gyökeres play a lot of 90s, and unless Mikel is open to making that change with a Trossard or Marino as well. So yeah, but I think Nottingham Forest at home, 12:30 kickoff UK time. That's a really good opportunity for him to build some confidence before the big game against Man City in the Premier League the following week. So I just think he'll be fine, and I always think we should look back on what we paid for him and when we are assessing the player. Whereas I think sometimes we're going to naturally try and assess the player to like an 80, 90 million standard where we didn't pay that much. We didn't pay that level of money for him. So, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think
another thing I want to just add. Sorry, Sucheet. So a
no,
lot of people have this mindset where a striker should score 20 Premier League goals or 30 goals, etc., etc. But to reach that figure is like really hard, right? So like even if you see the elite strikers like Torres, I think has scored 20 plus goals only twice in seven seasons, right? So like it's not a very easy thing to score 20 goals. Like people are looking at Haaland, they're looking at Salah, and then they're saying we need a player who can score 20, 25 goals in the Premier League. That won't happen.
Mm.
We obviously have players like Saka as well, right? And
Mm.
Eze or Martinelli, who used to contribute a lot, score 15 goals, 16 goals. So I think a good return for Gyökeres in his first season would be like around the 15
15.
goal mark, like 15, 16, 17 goals, or
Mm.
what Havertz was about to score. Like last season, he was on track to score 17 goals, right?
Yeah.
So I think around that 17 goal mark, if he just scores around 15 goals, I'll be really, really happy in the Premier League, right? And that's the thing which I want to like point out.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. I will take a couple of comments and then we'll continue the discussion. Victor Gyökeres seems to find a way to still have an impact. GA once he's given good service, and even if it's once or twice that he gets it, players like this are usually output machines like Bruno, Salah,
Yeah,
etc. Fair enough.
I agree.
I would love to see stars, but we are really happy to we need to see more active in working. Also, I don't think Gyökeres connected with that is why we started to get what is that?
Sucheet, could you fix your mic?
Yeah, I couldn't hear what you said there. Yeah,
My bad. Is it audible now?
it's good
Yeah.
now. It's good now. Yeah,
Okay, my bad, my bad. So what I wanted to say is that I don't think Gyökeres is fully fit. That is why maybe he's having those fatigue issues.
yeah,
I don't think people realize how important Kai Havertz is until the
Hmm.
Liverpool game, in my opinion. Because I think the
Hmm.
Liverpool game, if Gyökeres and Havertz were available, I think
Hmm.
Havertz would be the one who starts, in my
Yeah,
opinion, rather than
yes, yeah,
Gyökeres, right?
yeah.
Because that was such a Kai Havertz kind of game to start, and like, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it is. Yeah.
One question for you. Since Suchit has actually mentioned that, do you actually think Merino should have started at centre forward instead of Gyökeres
Oh,
um, in that game against Liverpool?
the optics aren't very good, with that. I think I did think about this over the week, but sometimes there are things that you just can't do. Like you bought. I know this is really like old school analysis. It's not even analysis, but I do think it's important where you bought a number 9 in
mm,
to play, as your number 9, right?
mm,
For games in which, especially with no Kai
Hmm.
Havertz,
Hmm.
I think Mikel Marino, who had never played as a number 9 before last season against Leicester, by the way,
Hmm.
versus a Gyökeres who's played number 9 his entire life, I don't think that's a good look. And I think that would have caused huge outrage.
mm,
So I do think that Gyökeres should have played, but I agree with what you will say in terms of I would have 100% started Kai Havertz if he was
Hmm.
available. I think it would have been the perfect game for him, and then bring on a Gyökeres for the last 30 minutes or so.
mm,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that's not something Virgil van Dijk or Konate would want. After
mm.
Hmm.
battling it with Kai Havertz for
Hmm.
60 odd minutes, then Gyökeres coming on, giving you a channel for it, really. So yeah,
I
Uh,
think
he,
with our fan base, Merino got so much heat for playing as an attacking midfielder. I don't know what would have happened if he played as a 9 and the superstar Gyökeres would have been just benched in a big game like at Anfield. Yeah.
yep, yep. Already they're like, oh, you bought a striker of that much quality. How can you have him on the bench when Havertz was also an option, right? Just imagine if Merino started over a Gyökeres when Havertz is not even
it
there.
can't
It would be,
happen. It
it
can't.
would be yeah, insane. As long as he stat pads against low and mid blocks, I can't be asked. Slap against Villa, Fulham, Palace, Brighton, and I'm happy with Gyökeres. Fair enough. When will Jesus return? Probably in the month of November or December. Same things that we thought. Okay. Parth, Parth right now is with his family. He's having family gathering, so that's the whole reason he's not available today. Did you? Am I still audible or is still mic
Yeah.
issues?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay, good. Do you guys still think Havertz will start in the second half of the season in games like these? Do any clubs bench their star striker even if they don't fit the system?
Hmm.
What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
I do think so. Yeah, I think Kai Havertz should be starting in these games, especially away from home, because he is like the discourse on Gyökeres is, like I said, we need to play more to his strengths. We need to hit the
Hmm.
ball into the channel, but you can't do that all the time. You do have to hit it directly to your number 9, who pins the centre back, and then you can play off. And Gyökeres, I think he'll improve, but I don't think he will ever be, you know, top 10 in the Premier League in that regard. I just don't think. But what Gyökeres will be very strong at, like I said, is the channels. And I think we've all alluded to it in terms of how strong he is when you have him running alongside a centre back where they're side to side and he's able to then use his physicality. Whereas Havertz is a weird player because he's just a nuisance when you hit when you hit like I've seen it at the game. He's quite a nasty player as well, Kai Havertz. Like I watch him quite closely at the Emirates where he does give a lot of these like elbows and he likes to kick as well. And I remember when we beat them 3-1 Liverpool at the Emirates that big game in which he got Konate sent off. There are a lot of times where Kai Havertz is doing some things that really should be fouls, but it doesn't get picked up on, and it does frustrate centre backs. It can annoy you, and then you get the reaction of Konate in that game where he Havertz does him. So he's just a nuisance, and I think he's just a lot better equipped when the game becomes one where we're under severe stress. He allows you to win a foul. He allows you to hold a centre back off on a couple of occasions. He allows you to win some throw-ins to just ease that pressure. So, I would want Kai to start in those games personally. I think are we all like big fans of Kai here, or because the people I talk to at times on the Canon podcast and the people in the chat, it's not always great for Kai. So. Yeah,
he does have his off moments like how it happened against Manchester United in that FA Cup game. Right?
Yeah.
See, at least I think since last season, majority of the time it has been a very very good performance. Sorry, from time to time I think he's had his moments where it looked like, God, I wish we had a striker, right? But majority of the times it's minimum a 7 out of 10 performance. But if it's bad, it tends to be really really bad. That's the only issue I think. Now with the fact that we have Havertz and Gyökeres as options, I think that should be none.
Yeah, I think in that regard, we've tackled the situation of working by two center forwards who have particular strengths, particular weaknesses, and then added the other player who is set to be better in that particular strength or
Yes,
weakness is like a very good
exactly.
thing because you have a channel runner, you have someone who eats space, you have someone who's a very good finisher, you have someone who's good aerially, and that's a mixture of the two. You have someone who's good at pressing as well. So in that sense, we have two players who can adapt to different game states, but it's all about having both of them fit and just use them in the right game at the right time. That is what we fans expect
That's a
as well.
that's a really good point because it's like when you like the Man United game last season in the Cup, Gyökeres scores some of those
Yeah,
chances,
exactly.
doesn't
Yeah.
he? He scores some of those chances, but equally, like we saw against Liverpool, Gyökeres did struggle for large parts, even though the service to him was extremely limited. And Kai Havertz would be better in that regard. So it's horses for courses, and that's why it was frustrating to not see Kai there because it just would have been a nice, a preferable game for him. Like Forest at home, absolutely Gyökeres.
Yeah.
In terms of what types of scenarios we're going to be finding ourselves in. I really want, and you can look at that Erdegaard reverse pass. That's a really good reverse pass that Gyökeres
Yeah.
should be on his. Those are the
Those.
things that I can get quite disappointed on because that should be your bread and butter. I know the things in which where we look to go long, we're trying to hit our centre forward. Gyökeres isn't as strong, and he is going to need to learn. But the things where we're in the final third and I just need you to show those striker-like instincts, I'm going to expect more because your record speaks for itself. And I'd expect you to be on your toes for that scenario because it's a really good pass from Erdegaard. Like, when I saw it, I thought, oh, what's he doing? Well, just shoot. And then I saw it back. Oh, it's actually Gyökeres should have been on his toes, and
Yeah.
he's got a 1v1 against Alisson. I reckon he buries that as well if he was on his toes. So horses for courses, as Aarush said, and I think I spoke to Semper about this before as well. I think he shares similar thoughts as well.
The fact that we have to sit, like you said from the start, 2 weeks we have to sit with this result is the one that's eating us. We also created 1.7 XG open play chances in 3 games and expect Gyökeres to score 20 goals. He scores from his self-reliance. It will come with time and team gelling. We're not used to with the centre forward. That is a fair point, I guess. Okay, Sanjit, yeah, an opposing point to all of us. I don't like Kai for Arsenal. If you're talking about system, then João Pedro is a better fit to the system than Kai Havertz. Thoughts? See, I see João Pedro more like a Jesus kind of player, not in top. Like he possesses a bit of that agility, the kind of pressing and like creating for himself and for the team. Maybe that's why he's working
I think,
like a second
yeah,
striker in Chelsea team. But I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's what the person in this comment is probably alluding to because of what João Pedro stylistically is. More similar to a Gabriel Jesus, and we knew what Gabriel Jesus was capable of doing through the left hand side in terms of how the game flows and what it offers to other players around. So I do hear it, but I think Kai Havertz is a really really strong player for Arsenal, and it's the problem is and I think you mentioned it, right? Like Kai Havertz's calamitous moments can look really calamitous.
Yeah.
We saw it against Man United. You saw it against Newcastle in the cup. And a lot of football fans do not really care about the other nuances, and that's okay. People watch football in their own way, and when you see Kai Havertz miss some of those opportunities in the key moments in the cup games, those are what's going to stick, to football fans. Not a Raya long ball and Havertz holds off a centre back and then allows other teammates to play off him. Those are things people won't resonate to, and that's why the Leeds goal, it's so eye catching, isn't it? Because it's run to the channel. He's created the goal by himself, essentially, and then you get the celebration as well. Like, so yeah. But I do see that. I do understand where it's coming from, João Pedro. But like I said, I'm really happy with Kai, and I think just hopefully he can stay fit because that's 2 injuries now that he's had. So he's another player we just need to show durability this season.
On the same topic, just to conclude the Kai Havertz talk, what do you think, Rohan and Semper as well? Because we've had a lot of talk about we're obviously going to go for a centre forward next season as well with the Gabriel
Oh,
Jesus departure as well. Um, there have been talks of us letting go of Kai Havertz, or if Arteta goes, Kai Havertz goes as well, and how it plans for the future as well. So, what do you all think about the sale in particular, and how we can like bolster the attack in that sense?
okay. Can I add one more thing? Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
Arush, I didn't expect you to ask this question right away. I thought it was something people would not be comfortable to talk about it because one last thing I want to add. When this thing, when Bayern couldn't get a striker like Waldemar, is it?
Yeah.
Waldemar. I thought Kai Havertz is their most Muller-esque signing that they could make in the upcoming summer. So maybe Jackson as a loan is a good option when they go next summer for Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
I
So
got
Jackson,
excited
so
in.
Jackson thing. So the Jackson thing which I read was it's like much more of an obligation sort of thing. It's like the same sort of deal we did with Incape, right? So like
Yeah.
certain conditions are met and it's obligation. So I think even Jackson is a very good player, right? So a lot of people actually don't appreciate him, but off the ball, outside scoring, like he's one of the best, center forwards. And the last game when he played against us, like the Chelsea versus Arsenal game, like Saliba was really, really struggling against him. Like I haven't seen Saliba struggle as much as he did against, against Jackson. So I think he's a very good player and he's in that same mold as well, right? So out of possession, the link up play is excellent, right? So I don't think they'll go for Havertz again. Like I think Jackson is, especially the amount they have paid. I think Jackson is the next striker, at least for them the next season, right? And I do expect us to like have a big sale because we have actually brought in a lot of players, right? It's around 300 mil we have spent. We haven't made a lot of sales, and the sales we have made is like 10 or 15 million overall, right? So it's a very pathetic sort of sales we have done. So I do expect us to sell a couple of players. Like I'm not sure who else will go, but I do expect us to
Certain
sell.
number 11.
Yeah, could be. Yeah,
What's
Martinelli.
everybody's feelings around
Yeah,
this number
Martinelli
11
is.
here?
Yeah, Martinelli. I think is one of the players who might leave, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So what are your thoughts on? Do you think, whom do you think like the two players if you think would be sold next summer? Who is the two players you would sell?
Yeah, so like kind of like
Jesus is going for free, obviously. I just
yeah.
want to add. Yeah.
I think Jesus is the wages really, isn't it? And I think the reason why we didn't put him in the Champions League squad for the league phase is perhaps he's not really going to be back until later in the year, really. And
Hmm.
the league phase for the Champions League finishes, I think, towards the end of January. So I totally understand the decision Arsenal made there. It's quite sad with Jesus, really, isn't it? Because it's injuries that have ultimately decided his Arsenal career. And this is where, like, when we assess signings under Mikel, you can't put it to Mikel on what's unfortunately happened. This is a player who was going to be a superstar had the injuries not occurred. But he's just never. It's quite sad, isn't it? Because last season, I remember when I was in India last season and I was watching on that small TV. If you boys remember, I was watching that small TV and
Yeah,
Gabriel
the
Jesus
iconic.
against Crystal Palace at in the cup, the hat trick, and in the Premier League, it was fantastic as well. Then he gets that big injury against Man United in the cup, and it's like it just felt like he was finally getting back to that rhythm that we knew, and like wow, it seems like the Jesus of old. And then he picks up that injury, that's derailed him. So, but yeah, the wages are massive there. So I'd assume that with what he does from when he comes back to the end of the season, maybe to boost his value up slightly. I do think we'd need to move on from him personally. I think the time is right. I think the Kai Havertz one's interesting. So like when I spoke to Alex and George about this, there's a couple of players in which we could look at for sales next season. Obviously, Martinelli's the big one. Like I think with Martinelli, now I don't want to look too much into the individual, but so there is the discourse of the environment not allowing him to flourish. There's a lot of discourse there, but if okay, let's say that's true, right? But Arsenal are trying to create a better environment for the left-hand side. And now if Eze performs really well, which we all envisage him doing, and Martinelli is still not able to play well, that's a really bad look on Martinelli, isn't it? Because you've got another player who's came in Eze. We've changed the environment of the left-hand side. We're looking to make it a lot more progressive, where I would say at baseline, post 22-23, the left hand side has improved significantly off the ball, but it has regressed on the ball. But we're looking to kind of improve in that regard with some of the additions that we've made in Eze and also with Gyökeres and also with Calafiori. Hopefully he stays fit and the Hincapié deal as well. So Martinelli, I think it's last chance saloon really for him this season. And I don't know if you boys agree with that. And then my final point on the Kai Havertz one is I love Kai Havertz. I think we all love Kai Havertz here. But if he's not able to showcase his durability this season, which is quite shocking, really, because this is a player who was never injured before. If he's not able to show his durability, he's approaching his final 2 years on his deal. He's already on a big wage. There's a conversation to be had there, really, isn't there? So that's a player to certainly think about. And also Ben White as well. Ben White's been fantastic for Arsenal, but again, it's sad because this is why we had to sign Mascara, right? Because of that right hand side, Saliba being overworked. You had Ben White who was run into the ground in 22-23 and 23-24 because of what we weren't able to rotate him because of Tomiyasu's unfortunate unavailability, and then Ben White goes through a surgery. Timber, who's came back from an ACL, he's now run into the ground because again Tomiyasu still can't stay fit. Played only 10 odd minutes. That was a cameo against Southampton. And then he undergoes another procedure in the summer. So you've got two players who've gone through big injuries. You've got Saliba, who's played ridiculous amount of minutes. He's suffered an injury now this season that's going to rule him out for a few weeks. So this is why Mascara was needed. But Ben White, going back to him, it's very important that he's able to show some durability this season because again, this is a player. If he's not able to, unfortunately, you'd have to look at that and thinking maybe we might need to move on, and that's sad, really, because it's not because of him as a player. It's because these injuries are starting to come back to him, and yeah. So sorry, there's a lot, but but that's the way I feel about it. I don't know what your thoughts are on it though.
It's actually perfect, actually, because when I asked on two group chats, like, so do you think Ben White could be a player that we sell next summer? One group chat was very kind to me. Nah, no, I don't think so. It's going to be fine. He's going to come back from surgery. The other group chat absolutely killed me. Like, how can you sell Ben White? He's such a good player and all that. But Raja, what are your thoughts regarding the situation?
I personally do think we'll have to sell Kai and even Martinelli. because considering the wages Havertz is on currently, I think he's the highest earner at the club, and he enters his final 2 years of the contract, and I, I personally believe it's the right time to sell because yeah, I mean this year we looked at Alvarez. I personally feel he's quite disappointed at Atletico and us selling uh, uh, Jesus leaving and also Havertz leaving. I think there is a room for an Alvarez. I think personally, and also viability for Havertz to move to Germany is mainly because Bayern need that star German player in their attack, and they do miss one. And I do think they rate having a German player in their attack a lot. And even we've seen rumors that this might be last season for Harry Kane in Bayern Munich as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe they're readying Jackson for that. So personally, I think we should look to sell Havertz, and also like since Jesse is obviously leaving, I think there's a room for another improvement in that department as well for me personally.
Just want to add one small point here. Berta has come in and he has shown a bit of ruthlessness as well, right? So, like, when we started the summer, I never expected Tomiyasu to leave, right? And we actually terminated his contract, right? So, there is a bit of ruthlessness. There is a bit of, um, you know, him taking charge of certain things. Like, with Edu, we would have seen him go for Sesko, right? Because Arteta, Mikel wanted Sesko, and we would have actually delayed the, signing, and it would have gone on till August. But we have read the reports of, Berta taking over, making some ruthless signings, and getting things done, right? So I think, like Rohan has been mentioning, like there are certain players like White, for example, or Havertz. There could be a scenario where we have to make a couple of money as well, right? Because we made a lot of sales, made a lot of signings, need 2 or 3 good sales. So I think there will be some, a couple of players whom a lot of fans like, but will be sold, right? So like that might happen, and there will be some level of ruthlessness which will go on in the summer as well, right? So I think there could be a couple of players who are like top players who we don't expect to leave, and they might end up leaving as well, right? So we need to be prepared with that for that as well. That's what I would say.
Well, we'll take a few comments and then we'll continue the discussion. We'll personally drop Martinelli in Saudi savers, and the first 6 months of Jesus sold teams to us. I remember, like, it's still, I think, Rohan, did you go to the match against Leicester at the Emirates? I think you did.
What, the Jesus one?
Yeah, the 22-23
I
season.
didn't
Because
go to that one. No, I didn't go to
you
that
didn't.
one.
Okay.
No.
I can remember you putting out some tweets and you were like, I know you.
I did go to I went to the one last season, the 4-2.
Mm,
Yeah, so
yeah. I
but
know
not
you
that.
absolutely hate this one, Leicester, with proper
Yeah,
passion.
I'm from Leicester.
I
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
think
Uh,
even Zinchenko was really good for the first 6 seasons, but then afterwards, like he dropped a lot. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
it's
Jesus and yeah,
yeah, no, you're right. Like Zinchenko was so important at that
yeah,
stage of where Arsenal were, right? He's just been superseded very quickly because
yeah,
it's quite interesting because it's like if you'd watched Zinchenko at Man City, what Zinchenko has done at Arsenal is exactly what you would have expected. His
mm,
excellent aspects, attributes we've seen a lot of, but at the same time, his weaknesses have always been there. So that's the
mm,
player who he is, and ultimately that left hand side has seen a lot of change really at that left
mm,
back position. And
mm,
yeah, I still think he's been a success to at Arsenal because I think it
yeah,
was absolutely important at that stage of where we were systematically.
mm,
A player like Zinchenko was absolutely needed. And you also have to remember when we signed Zinchenko, that was coming on the back of us missing out on the Champions League,
mm,
to Spurs, right? So
mm, mm,
you have to then consider where Arsenal were as a football club, the types of players that we could attract. And to get someone like Zinchenko at that stage was very
mm,
important. I think it was really impressive as well because it was clearly a player who, by the way, in that season, that's the 21
yeah,
22 season.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know if you remember, but against Aston Villa, in which Man City won on the final day, Zinchenko and the Raheem Sterling subs were key in changing that game. for them that eventually won them the title. So that was a big coup for us. And, he's had a lot of low moments for sure, but I think he's been a very important signing for what Arsenal needed. But I'm happy we managed to move him on for sure.
Mhm. Tino Liberamento 2027. Thank you, Benny Blanco. Tomiyasu derailed. I think the second bit of and last bit of the comment, Tomiyasu's injury derailing Ben White's career. I don't think people are comfortable to talk about it because how good Tomiyasu is being seen by the fans and how good Ben White is also being regarded by the fans.
Yeah.
But I think there is some truth to that. But yeah. We might sell Ben only if we get another attacking fullback. Kai is untouchable. Fair enough. Alvarez got TT seal of approval. I've even seen Pep Guardiola love him as well before the World Cup. Yeah. Okay, not this. Okay, that's about that. Okay. I do know that we all love Eze, but Noni Madueke was somebody I don't think majority of us. I don't think there has been a time in recent times where an Arsenal fan base majority of them have disregarded the signing, even without him kicking the ball in an Arsenal jersey, right? I do remember the outrage among all of us. I don't want to pick out singly who all said what. I'm not going to do that. But what did you guys think of Noni Madueke so far? I thought it is a really, really good cameos that we've seen as of now. The United game and the what do we say? Yeah, all three games actually. We'll start with Sanford. What did you think regarding this performance?
Yeah, we yeah, I'm a big Noni fan from the moment. I think Chelsea players, right? A lot of fans, Arsenal fans, actually disregard a lot of players just because they're coming from Chelsea, because of the bad experience as well, right? So they see us getting in Sterling and him flopping. So there's a certain mindset where they feel that every Chelsea player is bad. But I think Chelsea over the last 2 or 3 seasons have been like stockpiling a lot of talent, and so there are a lot of players like mentioned Jackson as well previously. There is like Noni as well, right? Who is like one of the better players, right? And he's one of the best players. Like if you talk about dribbling, if you talk about volume shooting, right? So he's one of the best players, and I've seen him like when Chelsea plays. I've seen him take 3 players. I've seen him take 2 players on and dribble past them. So like to have a player like him in our team, like who can dribble, who can go past players, who can have 2 or 3 shots in a game, was very vital to us, right? And we obviously needed a player to like be as a backup to Saka, right? And the problem is like Saka is one of the biggest players in the world, right? And there aren't many players who would actually come here and play as a backup, right? So to have a player like Noni come and play as a backup to Saka was a huge coup for us, right? And the performance wise, he has been really good. Again, like he's a very new signing. The dynamics of the team is like slowly shifting. So he needs to settle down, and I think with all the players, even Gyökeres, Eze, even Noni, right? We'll see them click towards the end of October after the second international break as
Yeah.
they start settling down, right? So I think all these 3 signings you'll see them play much better after the second international break. They're quite new to the system as well, right? So I'm very hopeful, and I think that so with even with Noni, even with Gyökeres, even with Zubimendi, for example, I'm very happy with all the 3 signings so far, right? A lot of people, as I said, are disregarding Noni because like the amount which has come or he has come from Chelsea, for example. But I think he's a very very good signing for the 50 million which you got him. In
Just
England
to yeah,
international, yeah, England international, and again he started today. I think I just seen the timeline, and a lot of people are saying he had a good game, right? So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Just to
Rohan,
quickly add into your point, Semper, it's like
yeah.
the big thing for me with Noni, I'm so happy we signed Eze because it takes the pressure off a little bit of Noni. Whereas I think had we not signed Eze,
Mm-hmm.
there would have been a lot of pressure on Noni. And like like the reaction to the signing, we saw the paintings outside as you walk
Hmm.
through the Emirates through the tunnel. Um, it wasn't nice, and that's why I think the Eze signing is really good because it gives you the good feel factor for the entirety of the signings of that trio. Where if it was just Gyökeres or Madueke, I think there would have been a lot of outrage, especially with the fact that Eze was someone that was you know heavily linked by really reliable journalists of David Ornstein, Sami Mokbel. So I'm really happy. He's a really exciting player, and I think already the injury to Bukayo Saka. This is the exact reason why we signed Noni Madueke. It is for effectively Mikel to ensure that he doesn't need to take someone out and move them to the right hand side to facilitate the absence of Bukayo, where he's now got someone who's stylistically not level wise right now, but stylistically very similar to Bukayo in that sense. So, and I actually thought, as you guys mentioned in terms of what we've seen of him so far, I thought he was bright against Leeds. I thought he did well against Liverpool as well. I thought it was a good battle between him and Kirk as well. He had him a few times, but then Kirk has manages to get that last ditch challenge in. But his pace and his athleticism is frightening. I think with Noni Madueke, it's like he's a seriously fantastic athlete. His sprint speed, physically, he's strong as well. Repeated sprints, acceleration, he's fantastic. It's just all we need him to do, and it's the hardest thing to do, is when he gets into the final third to just slow down and make the right decision more. That's the frustration that Chelsea fans had, and I feel you'll get some of that frustration at Arsenal as well. But in essence, it's like I can totally understand why Mikel wanted him so much, because when you look at him as a player, it's like he can beat you on a stand start, he can beat you on the run, he can go both ways, he shoots well. Like these are normal things that you want in your ideal winger. It's just a case of whether you can kind of use all those tools and skills when it really matters in the final third, where you need to make that decisive action. Like Bukayo Saka against Leeds, for example, didn't really have much of an opportunity to really go at Leeds before the goal, but when that ball is threaded into him by Jurriën Timber and he's in behind, bang, goal, 2-0, and it's done, isn't it? That's what we need to see from Noni Madueke, just being able to give us those key decisive moments, because everything else he has it. So yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. We've had a great summer. The thing that we wanted after this summer was the fact that we address all our depth issues, right? And so that we're not back in the situation where we are ridden with all our injuries and we are back to fighting for scraps. News breaks out, Saliba is out for 3 to 4 weeks. We do not know how far that is true, but we did get from Edu, if I'm not wrong. Was it from Edu? Yeah, we got from confirmation from Edu saying that Saliba is gone for 3 to 4 weeks. But guess what? Mosquera comes in and helps the situation. And we didn't feel that we missed out Saliba. 25-26 season. This is the Arsenal squad, 24 players. This does not include Max Dorman, but includes Gabriel Jesus, by the way. Right. I thought the squad depth is great. I think coming into this season, we look to be a team that challenges in all cups. The Premier League, obviously, the Champions League, obviously, and including the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, which are the two domestic cups we tend to ignore for some odd reason, right? Mikel Arteta has not done that since the FA Cup win. I don't think we have really taken it serious. What I really want to talk about is the UCL fixtures that we have coming up. This is the last segment where we talk about UCL and then we wrap up this team. Cool? Yeah, UCL. Okay, early predictions. What do you guys think? Top eight finish?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is easier than last season, actually. I know it's quite bold, but like Inter Milan away from home, that's going to be easier this season than last season. So, and Atletico Bilbao is the other away game.
The first game we played is Atletico Bilbao.
It's the next Wednesday, Tuesday.
Tuesday. We play Nottingham Forest and then we play. On 16th we play Atletico.
City, and after City, Atletico.
No.
So we play.
Okay. Sorry. Between City, Forest. Between City and Forest.
Yeah. So we play Forest, then Bilbao, then we play Man City, then Port Vale, then Newcastle, and there's probably another Champions League game in that midweek.
Olympiacos,
and then after that it will be West Ham. So not easy Premier League games.
Absolutely. So we're going to Atletico Bilbao's home left winger who we want. I mean, I think majority of the Arsenal fans wanted. Nico Williams. Thoughts on this game? Quick, we can just go through. We don't have to.
Are we doing predictions for all of the games? or
You
is
know
that
what? Let's go ahead with that. I do have I have my board as well. I have a marker.
yeah? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Why
Let's
not?
go first. Yeah, cool, cool.
Well, last
Uh,
season, our first game of the Champions League was against Atalanta, which we
Hmm.
drew.
True. David
They
Raya,
missed a penalty, didn't they?
heroics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heretic way.
okay, okay. I have the board ready as well. Rohan, what are your predictions for this game?
Are we just doing straight result as score, or just like win, lose, draw?
We start with win, lose, draw, and then
Yeah,
a result.
I think we'll win. I think it'll be 2-0.
2-0. Okay, okay. Samfur, what are your predictions?
I think it will be like 3-1 sort of a scoreline win for us.
Okay, okay. 3-1, a 3-1 win. Aarush.
Yeah, I think we've played them in preseason. We beat them 3-0. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go for a 3-0 again.
Okay,
Oh,
3-0.
so good.
Okay. Uh, imagine we have another Yokeris header. It'll probably send us to another plan.
Yeah.
Just before the City game, right? So like everyone will be
Yeah.
expecting him to score a hat trick against City.
Uh,
They also play. I think. Do they play Napoli on the Thursday?
let me just check.
I'll have a look actually.
Man City.
Oh,
UCL.
so is it a
We
Kevin De
do.
Bruyne return?
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it's Kevin De Bruyne return. So they play. They do
Yeah,
play
yeah,
at the Etihad though. So
yeah.
they play on the Thursday. And last season actually,
Hmm.
when we played Man City at the Etihad, we played Atalanta on the Thursday. We were the team that played on the Thursday last season.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's roles reverse. So don't want to hear any City fans.
You won't find many in India though, so it's cool.
It's so India. So in the area that I'm in, it's
Mhm.
heavily Man United. Is that
Yeah,
Man United is the big one, isn't
it's
it?
most yeah, it's
Yes.
mostly run in India. It's mostly United because like most of us like have started supporting in the 2020s, right? And
Right.
United were like the team which were dominating back then, right? So even in the bigger cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, most of them are United fans, right?
Hmm.
And it was really annoying, like going to school, going to college with United fans.
Another
We used
United
to,
fan, by the way.
Yeah.
Avoid
Luke is. Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing
Okay.
he's not too fond of Arsenal, is he, Luke? Or
He's a United fan. Yeah.
he's a United fan? Right. Okay.
Raja, your predictions.
I'd say 4-0 because I don't think Athletic Bilbao are in a great moment right now. So
okay.
yeah, we should smash them. Yeah.
We had such a nice Champions League group stage last season. It
Yeah,
was
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
so good.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except the
I
Inter
think we'll
Milan game.
finish in the first four, like top four. I think this time
Yeah.
around.
I
Yeah.
think also Bilbao have had a very good start to the season, by the way, because
Have
they
they?
are the only other side apart from Real Madrid to get all three wins in La Liga.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
My
going
bad.
with a humble 2-0. I'm not saying too much. Let's just say that. Okay. Okay. The next game is the Olympiacos game, not the not.
This team has caused me so much pain over the
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Is it the
So much.
1920 season?
Mate, even
Wenger
before,
ones, Wenger games.
yeah, even in 2011,
Yeah, yeah,
they were beating us then as well when we had
Mhm.
yeah.
Mikel in goal. I remember, yeah, they're just this team.
Yeah.
Are you going for this match by any chance?
No, midweek's harder due to work.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
yeah. But I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0 again. 2-0.
2-0 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. 2-0. Let's switch it up this time. Aarush, what are your predictions?
I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to us.
Oh, closer. Close
Hmm.
win.
2-1?
Yeah,
Okay.
close win.
Yeah.
They've
2-1.
signed Taremi as well, I think, right? Recently
They did.
from Milan.
But like last season, we had a few weird games though in this league phase. Like when we played Shakhtar. Do you remember the Shakhtar game, the
Yeah.
1-0? That wasn't a good game.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
think it was
we
an
can
own
talk
goal.
about any game last season, but I thought the PSV 9-0, 9-1 was still the most bizarre shit I've ever seen.
That was
In a
crazy.
knockout game, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. And then the second game, we just changed the whole team pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
like, so yeah.
I remember watching it. I think the first game was at their home, right? No,
Yeah, it was their ground. Yeah,
they go. We
Seven
went.
seven one something, right? 7-1,
yeah.
I think.
And
Ex-
Miles Lewis Skelly could have got sent off in that game, if you remember.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
changed
So
the
that
complexion.
yeah. So the red cards that he got last season, like the Wolves one was nonsense,
Hmm,
absolute
hmm,
nonsense.
hmm, hmm,
West Ham one was a red
hmm,
card, could have won. And I did feel he could have got sent off against PSV. That's why Mikel subbed him off quite early in that half
hmm,
as
hmm,
Hmm.
well.
hmm.
'Cause yeah.
Was PSV the only game that Neto played as well, where he tried to play for the opposition side?
That
Or
was
was it
Girona.
Girona?
That was
Oh
Girona.
yeah,
That was
That
that's
was
Girona.
Girona.
we wouldn't have played him in a game of that magnitude.
Oh my god!
I
Can
was
you?
so shocked by that because that's whatever we think of Neto, that's an experienced goalkeeper at the very
Yeah.
least. You know, whether
Yeah.
he's a dud or not, he should not be doing that. He should not.
Hmm.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
glad we can have a keeper who can jump within the box. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah. Raja, what are your predictions for this game?
Yeah, I'll go with the 2-1 as well. Gonna have to be humble against Mr. Marinakis' team. Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true. Maybe I should do
Oh,
2-1 as well. Actually, can't be
right.
humble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Sample, what's your predictions?
Yeah. Mine is -2-1 as well.
2-1. Everyone
Yeah.
went for it.
I'll
So
stay to 2-0. I'll stay.
yeah, that's what you're sticking with 2-0. You
Yeah.
know what? I'll go with 3-0. Because why not?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
The next game that we play is Atletico. I'm so glad this is at the Emirates. Imagine going there. I would have lost it. I'm like, nah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not. It's a really hostile place to go to as well. Like
Hmm, hmm,
it's like people I know who go to these away games.
Metropolitano.
It's
hmm,
quite the police aren't very good there as well, and it's not the nicest experience. But the ground's really good.
mhm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
hmm, hmm.
I think we'll. Yeah.
Imagine Alvarez does well. Could this be like an audition? I mean, I don't think he needs an audition anyways, but imagine. Yeah. But
Yeah.
this time we'll switch it up. We'll ask Aarush this time. Aarush, what are your predictions for this one?
I really do think this is going to be the games we drop a point, even though it's at
Hmm,
home. But
Hmm.
I'd say a 1-0 win. A 1-0 win.
hmm,
You said dropping points and then you say 1-0. Which one? Which one
I'm
is
just
it?
going to be positive. 1-0. 1-0
hmm,
win.
Okay, 1-0. Rohan, what about you?
Yeah. I think
hmm,
we'll edge it. I think
hmm, hmm.
we'll win 2-1.
2-1? Okay.
Yeah, man,
That was
we're having a great start to this Champions League phase. It's
Are we are
easy.
we are we expecting us to drop any points with the way these predictions are going?
There's a few games I think we will drop points in.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
but
okay.
this is a banana skin though for sure. This one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
yeah.
Atletico Madrid hard fought 3-2 win. Simeone's
Yeah.
men pulling it up for the
Oh,
gapper. Okay,
are we
okay.
losing? We're
Wow.
losing every game according to Luke, aren't we? Or
Yes, true, true. No, actually, he predicted the
okay,
Olympics.
fair enough. My bad. My bad.
Sanford, what's your prediction for this one?
So I think this game is like, as you said, like a banana skin for us. Like I think
Hmm.
it will be a 1-1 game for me. A draw.
Okay,
A draw.
okay.
Not the end
I
of the
think
1-1.
world
this is
though.
the. I think this is the toughest game for us. Like in the group stages.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
okay.
Interesting. Interesting.
I still think it's the other game which will come to, but sure, 1-1
Yeah.
makes sense. I was going for a 1-1 or a 0-0. Raja, what about? I'll stick with the 0-0. Raja, what's your predictions?
I personally think Atletico Madrid aren't all that this season. I'd go with 3 or 4-0. I'll say 3-0.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
oh.
oh. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I only saw 2 games of them last season, so I'm going back by peak Simeone. Going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So I reckon
Yeah.
maybe people who perhaps have watched more of Atletico could maybe say they're not
They've
as good
they've
as what
gotten
they.
it. They've gotten quite weak in the past
Yeah.
year. I think their recruitment has been very questionable for me.
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, plenty
So
of
you
new
are
players.
sticking with 3-0 or
Weren't they
4-0?
actually?
Yeah,
Weren't they
yeah,
actually
3-0.
gonna sell Conor Gallagher as well this summer? There were
Oh
some
yeah.
reports of it.
Yeah, apparently United tried getting
Yeah,
him as well.
United
So
Mhm.
right like he's one of the better players there, and I think it's very it's a very strange move from his part to leave Madrid right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Atletico drew 2 games and lost 1 game in their first 3 games in La Liga
Oh,
Oh,
against
really?
Elche,
yeah.
hmm.
Espanyol, and which one? Alaves. I mean,
Okay.
just saying.
5-0 then. 5-0. They're there. They're there for the taking.
You sure you want to change it to final?
Yeah, why not? 5-0.
Cool.
Revenge for 2018.
18,
Hmm.
18, yeah.
Yeah, 2018. Revenge.
Wenger send off, yeah. Sad
When
one.
I'm
Griezmann did the Fortnite dance, remember?
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking to 0-0. You're not convincing me. I don't care. Yeah, Slavia Prague.
Hmm.
So this game
Tough away game.
is away, right?
Hmm.
Apparently, these aren't too bad. Apparently,
Yeah.
they're not bad.
Exactly.
And
For
Stadiums are
me,
also very
I've
hostile,
heard
right? So
they're
like
good.
you, yeah, the
I've heard they're a
stadiums
good
are
team.
also very hostile, right? So like
hmm, hmm,
ultras and all that stadium built up shit and all that stuff, right? So it's a
hmm,
very intimidating stadium, right, to go to
right,
and
Yeah.
get points, right?
right. So you
But
know what?
still,
We'll
like,
start with you. What's your predictions?
I'm going with a 2-0 victory for us. Like, it will be a tough game, but I think we'll win it.
Okay. So far, we have us winning all games except except Semper and me saying that we'll draw against Atletico.
oh, fair, yeah.
Mhm.
To
Okay.
be fair, I'd take that. I'd absolutely take that if you
Same,
told
same,
me, you know,
same.
like
Aarush, your predictions?
Hmm. I'm gonna say a 2-1 win again.
Okay. 2-1 to the Arsenal.
Yeah.
Rohan?
yeah, I think 2-1 as well.
Okay,
Clean
2.
start to this brilliant league phase.
Okay.
We'd definitely be
Raja?
top. We'd be top if we're doing this.
Yeah. How
If you
many
beat,
games do we need to stay like to actually clinch like top three? Like 6 out of 8 wins or
I think
something?
6. I think 6. The way
Okay.
the Premier League teams have, how do we say, replenished their squad, I think we do have to win minimum 6 out of 8 games to be part of the top 4.
Hmm.
How much
Oh
did
yeah,
Liverpool
to
win
be
last
to be
time?
like top three, top four.
3,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
to
yeah.
be guaranteed like top three, top four. If you win 6, you're
6, yeah.
100% going to be there. Yeah, like because last
I think
season we dropped points in only 2 games. It was
Inter Milan
Atlanta and
lost.
Inter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was it. So, but
Somebody was in
remember,
the.
but do you
Yeah.
remember? Sorry to go. Do you remember on the last game week we were moving up and down a bit because
Hmm,
Yeah.
when Girona brought it back. No, Girona
hmm,
scored the first goal.
hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
so we did drop, but then we won it. So then
Hmm.
we moved back to
No, I
second,
think
wasn't
it
it,
was
or
also
third?
Liverpool who drew the last game against Lev.
No, they lost. They
Yeah,
lost
yeah, no,
to.
they lost. They finished below us, right? I think they
Was
finished
it
below us.
PSV, Semper? Was it? Was it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it was
Ah,
Yeah.
PSV.
Oh, yeah, it was.
oh yeah, because Liverpool changed their team, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
because
yeah,
they had
yeah.
a big
Yeah.
game on the weekend, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they rotated quite heavily. I think it was
Hmm.
3-2.
Hmm,
Um,
hmm, hmm.
yeah.
You guys are exactly same, but it's fine. You know what? I would take it. Do you know this Big Six?
I do
With
know the Big Six.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
side TV and yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty fun. Last season, yes. Hello, all. Welcome, man. 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. I know. I think I know where he's going to say we're going to lose, but okay, we'll wait. Raja, your predictions for this game?
Yeah, I'd go with 2-0. Yeah, let's go with 2-0.
2-0. I weirdly feel it'll be a 3-0. But this could be the game where we all think, oh, it's going to be fun, it's going to be nice. But I think with the, like how Sanford said, with the uh, stadium being intimidating, it could be a weird KG 1-1 kind of game. Also, I won't be surprised
But
because these,
easily
yeah,
be,
these
yeah.
are, these are the kind of games that we're not experienced. So before the okay, I think it would be nice to just take a small gap here. Before the season, before the draw was done, what are the games that you wanted to play away? Mine was Bayern away, and I wanted us to play PSG away, just for the sake of
Oh,
our team getting used to such kind of environment before the next phase of the UCL.
I personally actually don't want to play these big games away because since we have to win the Premier League as well, right? So that's the main objective for me, to
Hmm.
win the Premier League, right? So um, to avoid the bigger games as much as possible, right? So if you are playing the bigger sides, it should be at home, so we don't travel as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so my if you have to play like someone like a Bayern Munich or PSG or any other big teams, even Barca or anything,
Hmm.
it should be like at home. That's my preference, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, even like my personal favorite was like if I had to choose a game, it would have been Real Madrid again. I think Madrid will be quite good this season, right? I think Xavi Alonso will bring in a lot of changes, and I think they'll be a force this season, especially in the Champions League. So like to play against them in the group stages would be a nice task for us.
Right.
Yeah,
Madrid would be. We might even
yeah,
face.
at home.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys like? Rohan, Aarush, and Raja. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Personally, for me, away to Barcelona, just want to beat them final. That's all I want.
Fair enough. Rohan and Aarush.
I would have liked to have seen us play at Dortmund Stadium, the Signal Iduna Park.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I really want to go to that stadium as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the big one to see. Yeah.
Would you also reckon like the Borussia Dortmund admin to like playing some meme stuff related to Arsenal then?
Oh,
If you know about it, the Instagram page.
What was it? Sorry, I didn't know. No.
So BVB's admin is meant to be someone who is like into lots of memes, and he's like
Hmm.
Oh,
someone
right.
who plays with like Indian media and stuff like that. So he's very he makes those edits with those Indian songs and stuff like
Oh,
that.
does
So
he?
in that
Oh,
sense,
we
yeah,
love
yeah,
them.
it's
We
pretty fun.
absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Terence says, I bet most of the squad gets injured against Arteta. He's like a boss that works you hard every hour and doesn't let you rest or take time off.
I
And
just
because
want to add. I just want to add one thing. We have seen a lot of injuries happen to a lot of players this season. Like just yesterday, I think Dembele went down. It's
Yeah.
basically Dembele is out for
Desiree
six
Doué
or
as well.
6 to 8 weeks or something. So the
6 to
thing is,
What
six
injury is
to
that?
eight.
Sorry, Sampa. What injury?
I think it's his hamstring or something. I'm not sure
Yeah,
of it.
it's
A
it's,
leg
it's
leg injury, but it's happening a lot, right? Because these guys are playing so many games, and it's a high pressure game. Almost every game is a high pressure game, and
Yeah.
nowadays even in the Premier League, right, there aren't many teams which allow you to score multiple goals or to don't press well, right? So like
Hmm.
every game is like a tough game. You have to perform well, right? So you'll see a lot of injuries happening this season, and I'm really thankful that we have a very good squad right this season, because like had we gone into the season with the 18-man squad, I think we would have suffered a lot.
Yeah. No, I think
Yeah,
it's
calf
so
injury.
I think that's
Yeah.
the big issue. I think that's the big reason why we
Mm,
approached the window in the way
mm,
that we did, because we
mm.
got burned last season
Yeah.
because of the injuries. And it's not just an Arsenal related problem, as you've alluded to. This is a
Mm,
problem that's happening in football. And
mm,
unfortunately, it's going to keep happening because the financial incentives for those at the top, you know, outweighs the player welfare right now from their perspective. So they're going to continue to have more games because more games is more revenue. And,
mm,
and that's just how life is, really,
mm,
unfortunately. And
mm,
that's why these, having a big squad. And that's something that I needed to get my head around a lot more, because I did think like it's sometimes when you look at your squad, you're thinking, how's he going to get minutes? How's he going to get
mm,
minutes?
mm,
When you
mm.
start to bloat it. But when you have these sorts of injuries occurring, you just need to, really, don't you? You need to be able to mitigate that risk. And, with the Saliba injury, which could maybe perhaps have him ruled out for the City game, this is exactly why we signed Mascara.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
to ensure the drop off is not, like really, really drastic. It's going to be a drop off because Saliba is a world class operator, but it's about mitigating it. I think someone said it previously in the chat. No, we don't want any of the holdings. The holdings coming in and
Mm, mm,
ruining things.
mm,
So
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
when we lost 5-1 and he scored and he did
yeah.
like that. Oh, I want Sash to be the next Arsenal manager. Let's see. Let's see. Regarding. Then we'll come back to our predictions. Yeah, this game, Bayern Munich at the Emirates. What do you guys think?
Just
Excited?
context before this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Arsenal host Tottenham before that, and they go away to Chelsea after the game.
Oh.
Is it?
Predictions based on that. Yeah.
Oh no no no! Oh damn.
Mm,
Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this tweet from Rohan. Yeah, dropping off like something. Yep.
mm.
Uh, hmm. What do you guys think? We'll start with
I
Raj.
yeah,
Oh,
go.
Mm.
sorry,
Start with me.
Raja. What are your predictions?
Raja. Okay. Okay.
Okay. For me, let's just go with 2-1.
2-1. Okay.
Arsenal. 2-1 to the
Hmm.
Arsenal, yeah.
I don't expect you to tell Bayern are going to win, but okay. Rohan, yeah, you wanted to add something?
I mean, my prediction. I think this is where we drop our first points. I think it'll be
Ooh,
2-2.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
2-2. Your first draw prediction. Fair enough. Senford.
Although I do feel we probably. I still think we might edge it, but I think I'm being too optimistic now.
No, I feel
Drop.
we'll
Yeah.
I feel we'll win this.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I do know where we're gonna drop for sure.
Oh
I
yeah.
will come.
I
Yeah,
feel
we
like I
should.
know where you think.
Okay, okay,
Exactly. Terence
okay,
says 2-0. Vivek says 3-1. Bring me Bayern. I've been scared by them for years. Time to avenge Papa
yeah,
Wenger. Fair
yeah.
enough. Send for your prediction for this game.
So I am going with 1-0. Since it's a home fixture, I'm going with 1-0.
Is that a humble 1-0? Are you expecting more from it?
No, I think we'll score like in the first 30 minutes or so, and
Okay.
then we'll like stop them from scoring. So like haram ball, what we say, right? So like yeah, so we'll score first, and then we'll defend. Like that's what I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah.
A few Jackson misses would also help us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, of course, of course. Aarush, your prediction.
I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw. I think my backing to this, I would give Bayern a win if Musiala was there, but he's injured, so
Oh, right.
in that
Okay.
sense, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Mine would be a 2-0.
Hmm.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. Did I miss out anything? I don't think Mosquera could handle Haaland if Saliba is unavailable.
I guess time will tell.
Yeah. The next
We
game
shall
is
see how he does.
yep. Club Rouge.
Oh,
Thoughts? Anyone could take it up because I have no idea how to predict.
I think, yeah,
Okay.
personally for me, it will be a draw. I think we'll drop points. I rate Bruges
Oh,
very highly.
Are they decent?
yeah,
Are they good?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
They
their
have
yeah,
manager
yeah.
good
is one of the
potential.
best in Europe, in my opinion.
Oh really? Who's his
Okay,
manager?
okay.
Forgot his name, but like the person I know, like who I rate very highly, he rates him like at the top.
Nicky Haim.
Rahul, you know, yeah.
Yeah. I know
Let's have a
the
look.
moment you said highly rated, and that's I know who you're talking about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this
And
is one of those hipster teams then.
Hmm.
On the
Yeah, basically.
Something like
right.
Atlanta, I would say. Is it like
Oh,
Atlanta game? Like a lot of people like don't rate them a lot, but Atlanta had one of the best coaches there
yeah,
last season. So like,
Gasparini,
yeah,
yeah. But yeah, because right when before you said that, I was looking at this game thinking, right,
yeah,
remember
yeah.
Sporting last season? This is gonna be that five.
Hmm,
This is where we're gonna
hmm,
get
hmm, hmm,
that five
hmm,
5-0. So
hmm.
maybe not.
so apparently they were the dark horses last season. They reached
Mhm.
like the quarterfinals and they defeated a lot of teams.
They
Okay.
reached the
Hmm.
quarterfinal.
Hmm.
Okay. You know what, Rajan? Let's start with your predictions though. We'll start with you.
Yeah, for me, it'll be a draw or a loss, but
Oh.
I'll go with a draw. 1-1 for me.
1-1.
A
Okay.
loss, maybe.
Hmm.
Goodness
Hmm.
me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Arush.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think they've had a strong start. I think they had to come through the qualifications to reach the Champions League where they beat Rangers like 6-0 and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yes, they have a particularly very good individual players there.
Mm-hmm.
Even the guy who plays at Sunderland now, Chamstein Talbi, he's also come from Bruges as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I would still go for like a 2-1 win or something like that. I would still think we'll win
Okay.
this game.
Nice.
Yeah,
2-1,
but it's
2.
away, so
Hmm.
I'm just gonna assume that they're rubbish. So we'll go for 4-0. We'll go for
stick,
4-0.
stick to your guts. Come on.
Yeah, 4-0. Why not? Why
Okay,
not?
4-0.
yeah,
See, if you told me this
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
that Club
Yeah.
Brugge were this like, I would probably said we'll beat Bayern and we'll drop points here.
Yeah.
But we're
Okay.
dropping points against Bayern, so
Mm-hmm.
we're winning this game.
I
yeah.
feel it'll be a 1-0. Yeah.
Mm.
Sanford, what about you?
I actually have no idea about this club, bro. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember
really,
back in the
like,
day they had De
yeah,
Ketelaar. When they had De
yeah,
Ketelaar and
Yeah,
Noah
yeah,
Lang.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
The
no, I
game,
like it.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not sure. Like, I would say like a 2-0 victory, but I think closer to the game when we start watching them,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll change my mind. But right now, I'm just going with the vibes. I'm going with a 2-0 sort of victory.
Okay, 2-0.
Go on, Semper. Go on.
Yeah.
Just as a caution, right? Before the Champions League starts, officially we start our campaign. I will be making a graphic about this and posting it on Twitter, so we can come back to it and check what are the
Nice,
predictions.
nice. We've got to beat Club Brugge, boys. Come on, we have to surely. Got to be beating Club Brugge.
Yeah.
Just as a disclaimer, Raja was the one who said that we could lose. So if anything happens, you know
Okay.
who to go to. And to, oh yeah, Nusa as well.
Nusa,
Yes.
Nusa.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh god, God's sake.
Yeah. So this game is where I think we are going to lose.
Oh, okay.
This is where I think we'll
So
lose.
New manager, by the way.
yeah, the Inter Milan of last season we would have lost, but right now they aren't that intimidating, I would say.
Mhm.
So this is the game. Like I think we'll win. Um, and again, like what we have seen last season, a lot of people are having that sort of perspective as well, right? So like
Mm.
we struggled against them last season, but I think that this season will win. Like
Mm.
I would say like a 2-0 victory for us.
That
In
was
the just before, like in my mind when I saw this, when I saw the schedule, I
Mm.
thought that Milan game is a lot of people are commenting it will be a tough game. I thought this will be a much more easier game than the Bayern Munich game or the other
Mm.
games we are talking about,
Right.
right? So I think, yeah, the build up will be like a lot of people will think we lose or we'll drop points. I think we'll win this comfortably. I think 2-0, very, very comfortable win for me.
You think that happens at San Siro, though?
Yeah, yeah. I
Wait,
do
wait,
think.
wait, 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 let me get you. So you said very comfortable and you said 2-0.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
because
2-0 would be if you win 2-0 at San
yeah,
Siro, that's pretty
because
Yeah.
Kivu, yeah,
impressive,
Kivu is
really,
the
isn't
man.
it?
Yeah, yeah, Kivu is the
No,
manager, right?
no,
So,
my point was he said very comfortable and he stuck with just 2-0.
so they
2-0 is
won't.
very catchy.
Yeah,
Are you
they
thinking
won't.
like, say you would have said 4-0 or like 3-0?
Yeah, no,
What are
no,
you
no,
thinking?
I was thinking
no,
like a 3-0 or something because that 3-0 is comfortable.
no. But
The game is
for me, like,
between Forest and United, by the way.
yeah. But I still think that this is one of the games where we'll win. We'll win without a big hassle.
Mm. See, last season, if you remember the game, there was nothing between the two teams. There was absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
It was a penalty they got.
Yeah,
It was a Champions League penalty because of how
Yeah.
yeah,
their rules
yeah,
are.
Handball.
yeah,
Exactly.
Where we could have had a penalty in that game as well. Actually,
yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
There was nothing in it. I think we'll draw. I think this is where we drop our points
Oh,
on the second occasion for me.
Huh.
Um,
So you're saying
yeah.
it's going to be a rough ending to our.
I think it'll be a 0-0. I think it'll be a 0-0.
Oh, 0-0. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aarush, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a 0-0 as well.
Yeah. San Siro tax as well. It's
Yeah.
just never easy playing there.
And
So,
I just feel that their players would turn up. I don't think the manager
Yeah, I
moving
think
is
so.
gonna
Mm.
phase the players actually, because you see someone like a Dumfries being a
Mm.
right back, he's just gonna turn up regardless of who you are.
Mm.
he
And
hit the post in the first couple of
Yeah,
minutes last season
yeah.
against
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
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 Yep. Raja, your predictions?
I'm a bit conflicted on this one, mainly because I don't know how Inter will develop through the season. I don't know much about their manager as well, but uh, the individuals are the same because all the main players are still around. So I'd say a draw.
Okay.
Yeah,
What is it?
1-1 maybe, or
1-1.
0-0. 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
I feel it's going to be, we're going to lose 0-1.
Oh,
Yeah. I think this is going to be like those one of, again, like how we lost the last time to a shitty penalty. I think it's going to be like something like that. Like we are good defensively and some bizarre moment happens and we lose. Like how we did last time. Because I think,
But all in all, I mean, with our predictions here, we're comfortably in the top 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I
Absolutely
predict,
fine.
and we'll go our last one. I think this game is when Max Domin could actually could start or could play. That's why I kept
It's
expecting.
so important that we didn't play this game away from home. This is
Yeah.
in Central Asia.
Yeah.
This is
actually above India.
that's closer to you. Yeah.
It's just above India.
Which is
It's
the
like
club
traveling.
that's traveling there? I think Madrid.
I think Madrid are traveling there.
Yeah, Madrid are going
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, boy.
Imagine your luck. You have to
India
go
flight
there.
or something.
Goodness me.
Man.
That
Did you
was.
see the
I'll be
clips?
honest. That was the only thing I was worried about in this draw. I
Mm.
was thinking, all right, I don't want to play these in
Yeah.
Asia. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so yeah.
We'll start with we'll start with Rohan. Or what's your predictions?
I tell you what, if we need to win our last match day game, this is like Bogwan has given us like such a nice game here on paper. So
Uh-huh.
I'm good. Well, although they did knock out they knocked out Celtic, didn't they? So
Oh yeah, they did.
but apparently the games were like really bad, so bad.
Hmm.
I'll go 3-0.
Okay.
Yeah, I
3-0.
think we'll make some changes to the
Yeah,
lineup.
last game of the group and everything, right? So
Yep.
Yeah.
if you're in the top 8, obviously you'll make some sort of changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really good. This is at the end because, like I said, if
Kazakhstan.
if the league phase doesn't go the way that we think,
Hmm.
this is. I'd rather play these last. You know,
Hmm.
Yeah.
so
This is in Kazakhstan, if I'm not wrong.
yeah,
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Is it Kazakhstan? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
65-0, fair enough. And, cool. Sanford, what are your predictions?
I think it will be like a 4-0 or a final victory for us. Like if we go with full strength, right? So like
Okay.
I'm assuming you're going with full strength.
Mm-hmm. It is 4 or 5.
4-0. I'll go with 4-0.
Okay, 4-0. Aarush, I think is a little bit busy. Raja, your predictions?
Yeah, comfortable final win.
Comfortable final win. Okay. I'll stick to. You think it could be one of those PSV games where we just go there and like just score 7 goals or something?
Could be, yeah.
It would be funny if we score 7 goals, right? Man,
I
I'll,
think
I'll stick with 4-0.
things will change though. Like as the season progresses, we'll see more of them. What are they about?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I have no idea what Bruges is about, right? I've not seen them for around 2 or 3 years now, so I'm not sure what quality they would bring in.
Hmm.
Like as we go closer to the tie, we sort of see the games or they rewatch certain games, right? So
Hmm.
to understand how good some of these teams are,
Hmm.
right? So we know Inter Milan, we know Bayern Munich, we know some of these teams, but we have never heard of these teams, right? So like
True.
yeah.
The last time I watched Club Brugge or know anything about Club Brugge was when Noah Lang was there, when we were like
Yeah,
linked to
exactly.
him. Exactly.
No, Lang did catch a lot. I remember. I think they beat like PSG. It was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Or Real Madrid, one of those two teams. That was the last. So
Okay.
yeah,
Aarush,
nice, easy. This is league phase for us. Easy.
Aarush, your predictions? You're the last one to give the predictions.
I'll say 4-0. Let's see what a squad depth is made of.
Okay, 4-0. Okay. So far, from the little things that we have done so far, that is predictions, right? Before we wrap it, we have unanimously said that we're going to win minimum 6 games, except I think my mic again.
No, you okay? You're okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think it was the Inter game, the Bayern game, and the Atletico game. These 3 games is where we predicted either a draw or a win.
Loss.
And yeah, I think Inter Milan was the only game where I said we're going to lose. But yeah, fairly good enough. Could be a top 4 finish. You guys think with the squad depth that we've done enough to win the UCL or win the Premier League this season?
That's the big question, right? Isn't it? In terms of how we navigate between different competitions, because once we get to the crunch time, we're looking to win the Champions League. We've got games sandwiched in between Premier League games. If we've got the ambition and we're there to win the Premier League, that's where it's the big Mikel question for me. Can you navigate between the different competitions appropriately that allows us to really dig deep? So I don't think we'll win. Just give me one. Give me one. I think we'll go out in the semi-finals again in the Champions League, but I think we'll win the Premier League. That's my prediction.
Wow. Oh, you know what? Let me just write down that. So, Premier League, UCL is not there. Okay. I think semi-finals is a decent run, to be honest.
If we win the Premier League and do the semi-finals, that's a fantastic effort.
True.
I'm pretty sure everybody here is taking that. Everybody.
For sure. I'm just saying, like, I don't think people realize that you got to keep hitting the semi-final
Yeah,
to
exactly.
probably get that final and win it. So that's
Hmm.
And also, last final thing before we wrap it up. Come December, do you think we will go for a left winger, like say like a Semenyo or something like that?
No, I don't think so.
No,
Don't think so. No.
I think our left wing situation is
Mm,
still unsorted.
I think it's gonna be Eze who will be playing as a left winger for us, like
Hmm.
in the next season or so.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like the market is so bad. Like in January or December, the players whom we think will be available won't be. I think he'll be going to the Afcon as well, so I'm not sure whether he'll be available in January. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's not possible to get certain players in, and obviously it's important for his own team as well, right? So unless you're spending like 80-90 million on a player, I don't think he'll come.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I forgot regarding the AFCON, but I do remember AFCON only because the number of players that Sunderland bought uh,
Hmm.
from AFCON countries. So, yeah, it is what it is. Premier League win for Rohan with the UCL semi-final exit. Sounds fair, I guess, for everyone. My
Yeah.
prediction is still that we're not going to do anything in Premier League and UCL. We're just going to get the domestic double, that is the FA Cup
Oh.
and Carabao Cup.
Oh, we're doing
Oh.
a domestic double, like the domestic cop double.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think. The Premier League, I think it's the fact that Liverpool signed Ekitike,
Hmm.
and not sorry, Isak is the one that's really
Is that what's
bothering me.
tipped it over you? Is that what's tipped it over for
Yeah, yeah,
Liverpool for you?
yeah, yeah. If it was just
I hear that.
Ekitike, I think they would have still been like fine. It was somebody
Yeah.
we could
I
get,
think
but
I think them not getting a center back is where the actual situation is, right? Because they don't have the depth in the defense, right? So like
mm,
a VVD out and suddenly they are like in no man's land, right? So like I think that's where the situation is. Like if they can keep the center backs fit, like Konate and VVD fit, I think they are the favorites right now.
mm,
But I think as far as the squad is concerned, that we have a much better squad than them. So it's
mm,
like up to us. We have to like hopefully like they aren't, yeah, they might get going in Jan, right? So
mm,
that's possible as well, right? But I think right now the next 3 or 4 months, if there's an injury to the center backs or even the midfield isn't strong, right? So
mm,
that's the position where we can capitalize, right? So like
mm,
yeah, that's the thing, right? So it's like if they can keep their players fit, then I think then they deserve the title, right? And
for sure.
can't say anything, but I think Arsenal have a very very good chance to win the Premier League this season, right? Especially after we gotten Eze and we gotten Incape as well, right? So
Mm,
who's
mm,
an upgrade on Kivior.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm expecting us to win the Premier League as of now, because we have capable players who are as backups, right? So we have
Mm,
Noni, we have Eze, we have. I don't think Martinelli is as bad as people assume he is. Like he's a good substitute to bring in, right? So like it's not a very very bad player like Sterling, for example.
mm,
So like we can bring him on at the 68 minute, 78 minute. He'll create some sort of impact.
mm.
Jesus is back, obviously. So like these sort of players can make an impact off the bench. Trossard as well, right? So like we do have the squad capable of winning the Premier League this season.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I do
mm,
feel the same as well. Especially before we signed Eze, I was like, yeah, no, we are not winning anything again this season. But after signing Eze, I do feel confident in us winning the Premier League. But I still feel a bit uh, sad that we haven't addressed the left wing situation.
mm,
We don't have that extra 1% that will get us the big titles like
So one of
UCL,
so
for
so
example.
so so Raja, one of the things is on the left wings, signings. There aren't many good left wingers right in the market. So if you think of the left wingers, it's like Nico Williams who are already extended, right?
Yeah.
Rodrigo wasn't moving.
mm,
So who are the options left? Like Gittins went to Chelsea. Garnacho went to Chelsea again. He's not a very very good player as such. He's not a very big upgrade on
No,
Martinelli, I
no.
would say. Yeah, so
I'll-
so who are the
God,
options
imagine we
left
got him.
on?
Goodness me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, who are the options left on the left wing, right? So who we can bring? Like Semenyo obviously had extended his contract. So like,
mm,
who are the actual players who we can bring in as a left wing? I don't think there is a market for that, right? Like Bakola, these players, Gordon, Liao, all these guys are very very expensive, like 100 million sort of signings.
mm.
So, do you think that we should invest that much money on a left winger, right? When we have players like Martinelli and Trossard in the team.
Mm.
That's the thing, right? And we had spent so much already. So do you think that was like another priority of ours just to get in and cross the 400 million barrier for us? So
Mm.
that's the thing, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I do hear your point, but yeah, just the, pointing out to Sucheet saying
Yeah,
Liverpool signing Isak turned the
yeah,
tables for him.
yeah,
For me, like I don't care about Isak going to
yeah.
Liverpool, but for me, it's just the signing of a left winger.
Is it
But I
true?
do hear your point. Like there aren't many good options. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of a tough situation, but it is what it
yeah.
is. We'll adjust with Eze.
I think the next summer is where we'll get a left winger in. Like
Mm.
that's
Yeah,
the
it's gonna be Barcola, bro. I'm just saying it on the stream. It will be Barcola. Just
hopefully,
watch
hopefully.
it happen. Mainly because of his defensive work rate, I think he'll be the one.
Yeah,
Fair, fair enough. Okay, that's it for the stream. We'll definitely collab probably sooner than possible. Probably after the UCL stage, we can collab, or maybe even after some important fixture that we have uh, coming to that. So, yeah, thank you so much, Rohan, for giving in your time to come on this channel and to
No,
talk to
no
all of us.
worries. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's been a great stream. Thank you so much for all the content viewers for like putting in the support as well for this channel and yeah, being there for all of us. We'll see you probably. We'll be seeing you on Friday. Yeah, we'll see you on Friday. Till then, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Bye bye. Take care. Peace.
yeah. Bye, guys.